chosen to be one of those people.
You've been chosen to
So
be.
it's a humbling process, but it's an exciting process for me.
Mhm.
So I'm happy for it. I love it. I enjoy it. I
It's
enjoy
a
it.
lot of work too.
Yes, it
Yes,
is. People
sir.
don't realize it. You get
Hmm.
tired, you get sleepy, you get irritated, aggravated, um and you still have to keep a smile on your face and keep going. So
Yes,
it's
you do.
like it's people have no clue a lot of times the things that you go through behind closed doors while trying to get things done, especially when you have so many things going on. Your personal life can lack off a little bit, and so it's like it's always work, work, work. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's worth it all. It pays off.
And for those who don't know, his grandmother is the legendary
Yeah.
Mary D.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
and she's such an iconic figure, especially here in
yes,
Chicago.
yes.
What are some of the most important lessons that she has passed on to you?
Well, one of her favorite sayings was she would always say, "If it is to be, then it's up to me." And what that simply means that whatever it's meant to be done, then it's up to me. If I have the ability to accomplish it, then let's
Hmm.
accomplish it. So, of course, you come from that, and then my father, Dr. Attorney Richard Wright, he actually used to do radio with Know Your Rights, WICA, and different ones like that. So, coming from that side, since we're talking about my grandmother Mary D, I mean, it was just a lot of pressure for sure. So growing up, you didn't realize on we were around different ones, and you don't realize it at that particular age. Like
Hmm.
this is important. So it's like I'm just looking at it like it's another event. So we got Steve Harvey on the same stage and just so many things. I remember she would host different events. My dad, he'll take us and we'll go. I remember she hosted one day with Steve Harvey the Chicago Bulletin Parade, and so we were there. And so you just don't think nothing of those things. And so but I'm looking back on and definitely am grateful for those moments. And it's teachable moments. And so every time she was around, she always gave me something encouraging to have to keep. And she always would say, and I was like, why does she keep pointing me out? At all people, I'm like, she has other grandchildren. Now if you knew Mary D, she didn't allow that to keep her going. She stayed going. So she wanted to be young as long as she was herself. But she it was an honor and a privilege, and I'm grateful for the teachings and the impartations and the impact that she's made upon my life as my grandmother and just the world. Just so many people come up, I'm like, she did that for you, really? I'm like, so it's just intriguing, even just in the grave. I think that's just great success.
So was it your dream to follow in her footsteps?
It directly was not.
It was not.
No, it was just something. Like I said, it's just something that it happened little by little. I was doing different business things,
Hmm.
like for my mom. Growing up in church, my mom, Pastor Julia Ann Wright, they don't. At that time, they wasn't pastors now.
Okay.
But just growing up in church, they taught me certain things. So it was like it taught me the business side ethic, and then after that, I started going into the graphic side of it. So which takes everything when you bring it all into one, um it makes you, as far as branding, understand branding, that you have to have
Yes.
a certain look, you have to have a certain things in order. So I did not know those things was my training. And then also my dad, he would do different things, speaking things. I was, we would have to go with him sometimes forcefully, unfortunately. But but you look back up on it and you're grateful for that. And so, my grandmother always hearing her speak on television. I would see her prepare herself, and just so those different things, I didn't want to do those things because I saw the work of it. So I was like, this is just too much pressure, that especially when you're a public figure like that. But I just came. It wasn't nothing that, it was something that it wasn't forced. It was offered, I would say. It was just like, you was made for this. And you didn't realize you was made to until you realize your potential.
Until you realize your potential.
Yes.
So what I do know about you, every project that you really turns to platinum.
Yeah.
It really goes good, literally.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your secret sauce to success?
The secret sauce, huh?
Right. And is it bottled so I can get
Right.
some?
Well, we don't have those in stores just yet, but um, I just say my work ethic really is what really I would say turns it on, and I always try
Mhm.
to be unique. As anybody who has worked with me on my team, they always say, I do certain things that people may not always understand.
Okay.
But I'm like, we have to be different. I'm gonna just give you an example. For we had a holiday show for a talk show.
Mhm.
And so it was obviously for the holidays. And for me, I was like, okay, the room was fine. This is just me in my head. The room was fine. The taping where we took the show at in the venue space. So I was like, okay, everything is set. They're going to rehearsal the day of and making sure everything was in order. So I had my PAs. I was like, can you do me one small favor? I was like, everything's nice. The set is nice. But can you go to Walmart and go get some pine cones first so it can smell like the holidays in here? So they ran down the street just because I requested them to go get it. And that's why for me, that's just to give you sort of how I think and process things. I'm like every little detail counts.
Yeah.
And I want people to come into an atmosphere of it, not just to look like something, but it to feel
Feel.
like something. And to be like, wow, this set is something and it smells, it just brings us different type of thought process. And I feel like so I think that for me is why people say what you touch become platinum because
Yeah.
it's like whatever you do is going to go very far. Obviously, business wise, entrepreneurship wise, it's just it's taken off.
Yeah, and before we get into your acting career, go ahead and tell us more about your talk show.
Yeah. Well, it's the Dr. Julian Wright show.
Mhm.
And so when I said we've had some awesome times, it's gonna be released coming out. And so you'll be able to catch it on Amazon and it airs on PBS TV network.
Okay.
And stuff and then it airs on Hulu Live as well.
Okay.
And so we're gonna be having it. We got some major updates coming with it real soon. But we've had some good guests and stuff over the time. So it's an awesome time. We have audience shows and we do one-on-one interviews as well. But it's an awesome experience. People enjoy leaving. I told them with the show, the only way I would do it, I'm like, people have to leave with something. I don't want people just to say, "Oh, this is another show." It has to be something to where they learn something, you get a good laugh. And life is hard enough,
It is.
so you need that type of joy and also that type of education. And I feel like I wanted to be able to have a platform to where also some of the known and the unknown can come together, to where people want to go to the next level, they just don't know how to. And we
Right.
just need to. That's one thing I learned from my grandmother that we have to be a helping hand. That's the only way that we all can make it.
It
And your
really
success
is
means
a
something when
team.
you do that. Yes,
It
yes,
really is. It really is a team.
yeah.
So your show is based in Chicago. I'm gonna take.
So it's internationally broadcasted, but we tape it in Chicago.
Okay.
But we're actually looking coming up to go on a tour
Oh,
with this. So we're looking to get some things set up that's in
so it's for 2025.
2025. So,
All
yeah.
right. I'm trying to see how you're doing out there because you're starring in Insidious Deception?
Yes.
And you have the starring role. You have
Yes,
the
I
main
have the
character
main
role.
character role,
All right,
yes.
give us a sneak peek into your character and what the fans should expect from this BET project.
Well, so we've been going back and forth filming this. When I say this movie is going to be the best, it's going to be the best.
Okay.
We have Asia Mion, she's an upcoming actress, and Darius McCrave's inside of there. Omar Gooding, those who know he's the brother of Cuba Gooding, Jr.'s brother.
Hmm.
And then also Fredo Starr, who's in Moesha, and so many other ones that you look at. When I say awesome people, and
Okay.
awesome director Corley White. But you can expect it's the life changing experience. I would say it's going to give you something different to think about. And so me, I have a main role in there. Me, it was definitely different because I'm like they had me doing some things. They got a fighting scene in there. I'm like, nah, my person like that's different. But camera doing that, I'm like, oh, good luck, Charlie. So I'm like that's how they get you now. But
Right.
but have the case is I enjoyed it. So we're still in the process of getting this, still taping this. I've been going back and forth to LA in the meantime. So like when you don't see me here, I'm there or doing other things. But it's a process.
And
And
the
when I
manager
say
got you working, I can tell you that.
they do,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do,
He
yes.
got you working. And when is it supposed to premiere?
Yes, it's supposed to premiere in 2025.
Okay.
So I don't have to get my information. So when the exact air date is supposed to be out, because it's supposed to be in theaters
Hmm.
and stuff. And so, but I know because of the taping phase, it was supposed to be out, but they had to extend some more.
Red
things.
carpet event?
Yes. So yeah.
Yeah. So shameless plug for them. Shameless plug. Okay.
You would definitely get an invitation for sure.
I will appreciate
You heard it here live.
Right. Right. So we're gonna fan him.
Yeah.
Right? And not just you're an actor and a business owner. We're gonna get into the business. From the White House to City Hall, done a lot, and you
Yeah.
have been around a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah.
All right. How does that influence you into what you're doing now?
For me, it just that goes into wearing several hats. It's like,
Mm,
being involved politically, was recently involved with the DNC, that type of thing. And outside of that, owning a company, a transportation company, then you
mhm.
got the acting side, you got the other business side, you do so many things. I also have a non for profit. Um, so it's just several other things that is, and the crazy thing is, I got the nerve to add on to it coming up next year. So it's crazy. It's another business going to be taking
Again?
place. Yes.
Oh
So,
my.
yeah. So I mean, we had recently. So I will be doing my own clothing line. So that is going to be coming out in 2025. So you get that in. It's going to be available online, and it's going to be in some good familiar stores, and maybe the mall coming out. So you just stay tuned. But
Dr.
um,
Julian, you're gonna be a very busy man.
I tell you, I'm like, it
Man.
never stops. So that's when I say it's an add on. So you look for it. The J Wright collection is gonna be the name.
Oh, we
Yes.
definitely. And as the owner of JW Enterprise Limo and Transportation, that's your company,
Yes,
right?
yes,
All
yes,
right.
it is.
So I have to get into your business.
Yes.
What's one of your most memorable rides that you had with a client that you could tell us about? We
Yeah.
keep secrets around
When
here. Right, we keep secrets, okay?
listen, it was just so interesting when I started the company.
Mhm.
I didn't really tell anybody. I didn't tell even my parents. I didn't tell anybody. I
Oh,
was like,
really?
I want to. Anybody that knows me, when I'm focused on something, I'm focused.
Okay.
And so I said, I want to show them rather than tell them. I'm a firm believer of show them. Not saying that there's some people that doubted me at all. It's just that I wanted to just remain focused and to let it see, okay, I'm gonna show them. I remember when I first brought it to my mom, my parents, I was like, hey, I'm starting a business. I want you all to know I didn't tell them what the business was until one day uh, I pulled up in front of their home. And so I'm like, come outside real quick. I called them on the phone. Everybody come outside. It's like, oh, wow, you rented a limousine? I was like, no, I bought one. It's like, what? You did what now? So I ended up by that time I had a parking garage, one of my parking garages, and here in Illinois. And so where I have because we have limos, party bus, SUVs, travel bus if you want to go out of town,
Oh, wow.
sprinters, all of that. So it just grew. Honestly, I didn't base my company to be basically bent on just dealing with just only celebrities. I would say, but for whatever reason in life, well, I ain't gonna say for whatever reason, but it just turned out to go that way. But one of my most memorable moments was when I met one of my greatest mentors. Now he's been knowing my family for a long time. It's just personally him knowing me for me was the interaction with him because he had seen me stuff in a little one. He knew me as Mary D's grandson.
Right.
So it's like okay, which is George Daniels. And so we got him. I was so excited. We had a big contract to be a part of a concert, and then we was one of the ones we were going to pick up was him. And so for me, I do not drive at home. Okay, so you would never catch me behind driving before, but I've had drivers and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to ride with you all while you picked him up or whatever the case is. So we're there. Plus, they wanted to meet the owner of the company anyways. So I'm like, okay, great. We got Uncle George in the car, and when I say we end up having a good time afterwards, we was like, okay, we gonna get something to eat. We end up just driving all the way
You
around
talk about George
Chicago.
Daniels.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have been around George Daniels, so yeah, you're gonna have a good
Yes,
time.
we were. He was like, let's go here, let's stop here, let's go back here. We gonna go back here. Man, you gotta do all this. So when I tell you, it was for me. That's one of my most, especially that's one of my mentors.
Mhm.
It became a person to where I was like, I like this guy right here. I'm like, I ain't seen him in a long time, but I'm like, it was just for me. That was the start. I would say for me, that was the start. I met a lot of people, but for me with him, I was like. Yeah, I'm like George Daniels want to hang out. We want to go get something to eat. We like, we going to this spot, and these people looking like, who is that getting out of there inside of a limo at Wendy's now? So
George Daniels.
so that was one of my most greatest moments, I would say.
All right. And you see George because I saw George at your release for the
Yes.
Vogue cover.
Yes.
So
yes,
and
yes.
he's pretty much every time I go to an event,
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's gonna be there.
he's going to be there. Yeah, he's definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the upcoming feature.
Yes.
Okay. For the feature in the Vogue magazine,
Yes.
and it's titled climbing the steps to success.
Yes.
Can you share some of the hardest steps you had to climb and how you overcome it? And then tell us how you got in, how you was able to get selected for the Vogue. Now this is
Right.
Vogue,
Yes.
Vogue airbrushing, Vogue photographers. Come on,
Right.
I'm
right,
doing
right.
Sex in the City, y'all.
Right. Yeah.
You have to say yes when they say it's Vogue.
Yes. So first of all, they titled that because I feel like that was the good when the editor when they did the interview with me, they came up with the title, they presented it to me, and I was like, yes, I'm like that's the best way climbing the steps to success
Hmm.
because I always felt like it was steps. I always felt like literally step by step. You were going to start at this phase and you went there. For me, it was the untold stories of the discouragement at times you go through in this industry to where sometimes people overlook you. Sometimes it happens in life, but especially in this business and sometimes especially in Chicago, unfortunately I have to say it, is that our own people, we become our worst enemy. And
Yes.
so I'm like, I'll never forget this story to where one individual, um they were doing a big event,
Hmm.
and so now they asked me to be a part. At this time, I was not doing everything that I was doing, but I also had the capabilities to do it, and they saw that. And so they was like, "We want you to host an event." I said, "Okay." I was excited. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna host an event. Yes, absolutely. Like, finally, yes." Like, And so when it came down to it, I look up on social media, and I never forget. I saw everybody else on the flyer except for me. And so I'm like, well, this is funny. I'm like, they just asked me to host this event and whatever the case is. And the real reason why was because they knew my dad. And so they felt like, your family knew my family background. So they like, we want to get some contributing to this event. We really don't want you. So it was like we want
Oh,
right. So it's like
that's Chicago for you.
yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. I was excited. So, anyways, I'm like, so I end up I didn't say anything. So I like the person so they can know I seen it. But I didn't say anything. And so they instantly, of course, called me. Oh, I still want you to be a part. I still want you to be a part. I said, no, it's fine. You already get who you have. It's just that I was just a bit confused. Why would you? No, I still want you to be a part. She tried to talk all this good stuff.
Hmm.
And so I looked up and I'm like, they ended up telling me on how they was like, yeah, we got the event together, but I still want you to be a part. I said, really, what would you like to be? And I'm not knocking what they wanted me to do. It's the fact that you offered me something first. So they came to me. They was like, well, we need someone to control the curtains. Do you think that you could come to control the curtains and stuff while people there
Control the
work with the? I said, controlling curtains and stuff. You need a technician or somebody for that. I'm not there. I'm like, what do you?
Control the curtain.
Right. So I'm like, I done went from being the host to controlling the curtains now.
You
So,
background.
yeah, I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I understand. So no, thank you. I appreciate the offer. No, I don't want to control the curtains. So that person, of course, went on and so, but now they kind of went on to, and that was a very hard moment for me because for me, I was excited. I was very much so like, okay, I'm going to be able to get certain things. But for me, it taught me in life is that people would do certain things, but as to me, I'm a firm believer of the Bible that the last shall be first.
That's it.
And it's not at the end of the day to rub in anybody's face, but at the same time, it is to show that what's for you will be for you. And whether people want to acknowledge you or not, you will be put in the right positions at the right time. And I'll begin to reflect on, like I said, a saying that my grandmother would say, if it is to be, then it's up to me. So we need to put the work in more. We need to do more. And we're going to turn this negative and make it to a positive. And so from then on, I began to grow and career wise, meeting people, and especially you're conversating with people, you just never know what's going to come out of some people's mouths. So it's like, okay, but I began to test those things in life. I began to, one day, I remember Uncle George took me somewhere. And when I said, well, this, he has the ability to go in the room and talk to everybody.
Yeah, he commands the room.
It commands the room.
He
I was
commands
like,
the room.
I would just be like, for me, I was kind of talking to whoever talked to me is who I go talk to. So it wasn't nothing to it. It was like, but he was like, yeah, get out there more. So he was one of my definitely. That's why I'm so grateful to pay tribute to him
Mhm.
because he said you gotta get out there more. You gotta do X, Y, Z. You gotta do. You gotta. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, we're gonna. But for me, I began to learn what I knew. I already knew what I knew, but also deal with what I didn't know
Okay.
and challenge myself in those areas. So for me, if it was talking to people, okay, I will use everyday people as my testers just to do it, just to figure out how can I
Okay.
start a conversation with you. Because if I knew if I could conversate with you, I could conversate with them. And everybody is different. So how I can navigate this conversation with you, how can I present this, all those different things. Those were my ways, I would say, my steps of getting to where I am today. And of course, it took me from there. And then at the same time, it began to people to be able to see you for you.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference. People just sometimes can see you, but to really see you for you and to say, I see you, you really did this like this. It makes you unique, makes you different. I don't have to be like everybody else. I don't have to be accepted by everyone. But at the same time, you know, there will be some people that recognize greatness. And so for me, I think that's where they get the steps to common step to success.
And how did that lead you into the Vogue cover?
So the thing is with Vogue, and that's why I say it goes back into you never know who you're talking to at times. That's why
Okay.
I tell people I'm like treat everybody right. You just never know. So I was in Atlanta. I had an offer to be a part of a panel with Chris Tucker.
Okay.
It was a and musical soul and film conference that they did in Atlanta, Georgia. So they flew me in to go down there. So I was a part of it. One of the sisters, the Braxton sisters, she was a part. Dr. Jackie, she was a married to medicine.
Yes.
She was a part, and some other ones. Um, and so I was like, Emmanuel Lewis was the one that's over that conference. And so, well, come to find out, one of the ladies, which was an editor for Vogue, was there. And so she saw me, the way I was dressed, first of all. And then I was doing some things on the red carpet, and they also had me a part of the panel. So my publicist, she just introduced me, but she didn't introduce me to the lady. And then so she was just actually somebody I ran into the hotel lobby.
Right.
And we was just talking. I didn't know who she was like that. She saw of who I was because I was a part of the event.
Okay.
And so we was just talking. She was just like, she was talking about, her navigating, getting here and all that stuff. We were talking about Atlanta traffic. So we clicked. So from then on, I was like, follow me on social media. I'm gonna follow you, XYZ. Had no clue if I'm talking to the lady from Vogue. So then one of my managers at the time, his name is Daryl Deshawn. Awesome person. He actually knew the woman. So I'm like, okay, but I didn't meet him until later.
Okay.
So, but she remembered me. She was like, I remembered you out of everyone that I met that day. I remembered you. And so I was like, okay. So then on, when I say he ended up bringing me up in a conversation while talking, and somehow she was like, we got to get him on there.
Yes.
So she ended up connecting with him, and she's like, we got to get him on Vogue. And so I'm like, when he brought it to me, I'm like, he's like, do you know so and so? I'm like, no. By this time, you met so many people, but I'm like, no. What did we talk about? She said, we met you in Atlanta, XYZ, and you talked and stuff, but they didn't tell you that they were the editor for Vogue. And they were so intrigued by you that they want you to be on there. I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, what? Like, this is
That
just,
is an honor.
yeah. So I'm like, it was just,
So was the photo shoot done here in the United States, or did you actually have to
yes.
go overseas?
No, the photo shoot was done here. Ricky Green, he did the photography. He's actually a photographer from Chicago.
Okay.
So he's done some different things for other magazines. And so they was like, okay, this is you get your different selections.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, I actually like him. Now the piece that I had on was I designed that piece.
Oh, really? Because it's a
Yes.
really nice piece.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
it was
you.
really, really nice.
So,
I liked it
yes,
a whole lot.
yes. So
I think everybody did too. So
yeah.
that was at the release party. It was
Yes.
actually very, very nice.
Yes.
You got talent, I can tell
Yes.
you that.
Thank you.
Faith seems to play a significant role
Yes.
in your life.
Yes.
Okay? How does faith keep you grounded in such a demanding and public career, especially in entertainment? Because we all know which way they can actually go. You can go to
Yes.
the dark side.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Well, I know that when it comes down to me for faith,
Mhm.
I grew up in church first of all from my mother on her side like that. Both of my parents went to church. They were ministers at the time, and then they're pastors now. My grandparents from my mom's side, her mother were pastors.
Okay.
So I was a PK's grandchild from there. So you got church side there, you got the educational side on this side, and the television side and XYZ. So honestly, I tell them that's a mixture of you're gonna have to be something. So it's but but for me, my faith experience was just really knowing who God is for myself. Really just knowing who I worship, who I really talk to, and who is the one at the end of the day that's going to open up the doors for me.
That's right.
It's me. I can't do it on my own. Obviously, as much as I do, the strength that I have will only last, but only so much.
That's it.
But the strength of God for me will always remain. And so at the end of the day, when I begin to get in trouble and when I begin to get panicking and don't understand what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, I just turn to God and pray, and God will deal with me about those different things. And so, I'm a firm believer of spiritual gifts and those different things that God will deal with you. For me, one of my gifts is dreams, and so I begin to see myself
Mm.
before it happened in dreams, meeting some of the people that I met before I met them.
Right.
And so it was just encouragement to me. I was reading the Bible and just always just keeping the faith and just believing. So for me, my faith has brought me this far, and I know it's going to
And he
bring me
will
even
continue
farther.
on.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, 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 sir. So, um, what's one thing people would be shocked to learn about you?
Um, Shocked to learn about.
Yeah, well, what is that? That one thing.
Um, let's say. So I know this. People have this thing mixed up with me. So now I'm a very serious person. I just have a serious face.
Mhm.
So some people, I think that they'll take it to. I'm serious now when it comes down to certain things. Now I do
Yeah,
feel
I met
that.
you at M Lounge. I know you were serious, but we had you laughing.
Yeah, yes. I'm like I can smile. I'm
Yeah.
liking everything like that, but most people don't really know. For me, I'm like just conversate with me. Let's talk. And me, I'll start a
Mhm.
conversation as well. But for me, I tried my best to because I mean Lisa is she's so funny. She's like, you're always so serious. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is just the way I look. When I said I have baby pictures looking the same way, that's just the type of face
Yes,
you
you have.
have. And so even my mother, especially her, they was like people always misunderstood. And they was like, why you looking like you just think that you. I'm like, no, I'm just
You know what? That's funny because my
yeah.
son, he has a very serious. The only time I see him laugh and smile is when he with his friends.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
can get that.
Yeah.
If you could guest star on any show, we're
Mhm.
starting to wind down. But if you could guest star on any show, before we go to that, when is the Vogue feature coming out?
So it's already out.
Okay,
So it's already out. You can get it online. You can go to I think it's on VogueItalia.store, if I'm not mistaken. You can go directly and check
VogueItalia.store.
out the article, and it should show you where to go be able to get a copy as well.
Okay,
But yeah, you can check out the article and read all about it, and it'll show all those different things. And then it's supposed to be a video put out, as far as the interview taking place between me and the person, and a little bit about. And it's gonna show a little snippet of the
I
Vogue
grabbed
party.
one of the photos for the promo
Oh,
off
okay.
your page. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
I'm using that.
Yeah.
We talking about Vogue, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Vogue photographers, okay? If you could guest star on any show, past or
Mhm.
present, what would it be?
If I can guess on any shows, it has to be reality or what, or it can be
Whatever,
just anything.
anything.
So for me, I've always wanted to be up on because I do feel like I have. So one of my favorite shows I would say it was Empire. I would have had loved to been on Empire. When I say
And they should bring it back.
yeah, they should.
Yes,
I'm
they
like,
should.
oh my God. I'm like, they should really bring that back or
Mhm.
just bring the best they can with it. I'm like, but when I say for me in my downtime, whenever I do have it, or sometimes for me, I'm a night owl. That's
Okay.
another thing people don't really know about me. So I am a night owl. At nighttime, I am up. I'm working on stuff. That's when my day kind of dies down.
Okay.
So, but for me, I am up to 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I shouldn't because I have to get back up for meetings at 9 or 10 and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
yeah. But
I get that.
yeah, I would say Empire. Yeah,
Okay.
Empire. Now, if I were to pick a show that's current right now, I would like to be a part of the other show, Abbott Elementary.
That is
So,
a great show.
yes,
That is
yes, yes,
and the whole
yes.
cast.
I love the
Entire
cast.
cast is great. I
They
love that
are.
show.
They
Yeah.
are.
Um,
Yes.
what you doing as much as you do?
Mhm.
Describe your perfect day off. No cameras, no business, just Julian, being Dr. Julian. We're not even Dr. Julian, just
Just
Julian.
yes. Perfect day off. I would say just relaxing, eating. Me, I love a good walk. I do like to go for
Oh,
walks. Um, I do love the mall as well, so you'll always catch me in there. But
don't tell Melissa that she gonna call
she
you.
go. Yes, you'll always catch me in somebody's mall. And I blame it on my mother. She tells me, she said, "You have a mall demon." I said, "But you know that mall demon came from somewhere because growing up as a kid, she always used to take us to the mall."
Mall. Okay.
Now that she's now like, people order online now. I'm like, yeah, but used to be in the mall every chance it was open, so it
Mhm.
came from somewhere. So, but for me, that's honestly my place of peace. That's what people don't know. Like, I will go there and I will listen to my music. That's when I get my great ideas outside of shopping. I'll just go in just to see what's going on and just it relaxes me.
Okay.
And so, but yeah, for me, that spending time with I have godchildren as well. I do not have any biological children, but I do have godchildren.
Okay.
I'm spending time with family. But most of the time, I try to do a self-care date or something.
And that makes you happy.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
With everything you have achieved so far,
Mhm.
what's on the horizon for Dr. Julian Wright?
We got the clothing line coming out. Some more things for the show is definitely coming up. When I
Mhm.
tell you, we got some awesome, awesome things coming up. Some political things we're working on doing. Because we're working with so many other people's campaigns.
Okay.
Um, Outside of that, and it's just more. It's just for me. I'm ready for it, especially the new year's coming in. I'm excited. So I'm
And
ready.
I have to bring this up. So your manager, he's actually getting ready to do a reality show if it hasn't already started the last time I spoke with him. So are you going to be
Yes.
on that as
Yeah,
well?
no, I will not be on that one. I'm like, I have so much going on. And he's doing that directly for people who's in LA. But when I
Okay.
say he's been working hard on it, I had to bring in another manager for me
Okay.
because I'm like, when I say this man is working hard, he is working hard. And so he knows that I support him 100%. When I say, but it's awesome. And so I saw a little bit of things that he's doing. He got something else that he's working on coming up here in Chicago. But he's on to Dare to Shine, man. He's doing it. So yes.
And you both are.
Yes.
All right. So anyone chasing their dreams, what's the one piece of advice you would give them to take their first step towards success?
I would say never let a no stop you. And also understand of don't be afraid to take correction. Take correction as correction and be greater. A lot of times we can go certain places and feel like it's just not enough. But don't stop there. Just continue on and just don't give up. Perfecting your craft and you'll make it.
That's me.
Yeah.
So you're talking to me.
Yeah.
You're talking to me. You're talking to me.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to end up coming on now, but we're going to do this thing that I call Alice Jam Pack
Okay.
speed round. Now, I was supposed to have my little liquor thing and it took me 30 seconds, so we're just
Okay.
going to ask some questions.
Okay.
All right, as fast as I can. And the first thing that comes to your mind, you're just going to give me an answer.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to throw my glasses on.
Okay.
All right. Oh, what's the last song you had on repeat?
So it's gospel song. Juanita Bynum Hide Me.
Okay,
So
who is your celebrity crush?
my celebrity crush. Ooh, I have a lot of them.
So, and I'm telling you, you would probably lose right now if I had my little thing right
Yeah, I
here.
would. I'd be like, thank you. Going on. So my celebrity crush, I would say one of them is Taraji.
Okay.
Taraji P. Yes.
Who would play you in a movie about your life?
Who would they have to be active or just
Anyone.
I haven't found that person yet.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook?
Facebook.
Facebook. Why Facebook?
Yes. I'm old. It's a Facebook. I don't know. I always have a love for Facebook.
Yeah.
I post things on Facebook before I post it on Instagram.
And I do too. And I think that's why I end up getting all those followers from because I'm now
Yeah, now
concentrating
you
more
right,
on
right,
yeah.
right.
If you could swap lives with a celebrity for one day, who would it be?
Who would it be? I would say, I would say Terrence Howard.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a good one. All right. Oh, that's a good one. Dream vacation destination.
Dream vacation, Hawaii.
Okay. All right. What's the weirdest talent you have?
The weirdest talent I have. I can play the drums a little bit. I ain't gonna say it's weird, but that's the best.
What's your proudest moment so far?
Proudest moment. Um, well, when I recently got an award from Mabel Buckner and the Dream Awards.
Okay.
So I recently got, she was with ABC News, Cheryl Burton, she ended up emceeing. So I recently got that as well. So that's when I say lately, that's been one of my proudest moments. That's been one of my proudest. I want to cry. And I'm not a big crier that quickly. So it's for me to cry, yeah.
Okay. Two more. If you weren't in your current career, what would you be doing?
I would become an attorney.
Attorney, like
Yeah.
your father.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And finally, who has inspired you the most in your life?
My parents, my grandmother, and definitely God for sure. But yeah, I would say those are the main ones that have inspired me.
Okay. All right. And do you have any final words for us?
No, I just thank you for having me on.
I appreciate you coming. I've been trying to get you to come on for the longest, and I really wanted to come to. And I'm glad I did this back at home. I'm back at home with Earl.
Yes.
I'm back at home with Earl. All right. So, and I really want to do this, and we got to do this again.
Yes, yes.
All right. And I'm be looking for my
your invitation.
My invitation
Now,
for the red carpet.
Look,
don't let me have to chase
you got it on footage, so look.
That's right. That's right. Earl put that up.
That's right.
We're gonna have that. Listen.
Yeah.
Catch me every week on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Even though I wasn't on that today, but I will be on there.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a little issue. However, listen, as I always say before I end my show, fan your fire, be true to you. Be true to who you are, and whatever you do, inspire along the way. I'm Alice. This is Jam with Alice. I'm the Intellectual Radio, y'all. We'll see you next time. We're done? All right. Thank you. I want to hug.
Yes.
I'm sorry I couldn't get my little stuff up because it's making me